Absolutely. They're like an infection in that, like you said, if you transfer them, not only will they not die, but they're damaging to the environment via the cytokines. Those are called SASP, senescent associated.
Really, unless you're doing something to slow that down, which is what we'll get to, anything you pour in on top of that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kidney Coach YouTube channel. I'm naturopath Fiona Chin, co-founder of the Kidney Disease Solution, Kidney Coach and Cryogenesis. And I'm joined again today by the fabulous and wonderful Dr. Morgan Camp. Dr. Camp is a functional medicine practitioner. He's been working for 20 years now in the functional area. And so talk to me about senescence and zombie cells. Let's just walk people through that a little bit more, because I think, the whole part that if you take senescent cells out of a rat and then put it into a healthy rat, they go and get exactly the same disease. So senescent cells, my understanding, and please correct what I've got wrong, are almost like viral cells, aren't they? How they affect and infect the cells next to them to become these cytokine inflammatory producing cells.
Absolutely. They're like an infection in that, like you said, if you transfer them senescent cells from an older mouse that has a disease to a younger mouse, within a very short period of time, they have the same illnesses, very short period of time. So it's almost like an infection. So the term zombie is great because, it fits the description well. They're basically cells that won't die like a zombie. And not only will they not die, but they're damaging to the environment via the cytokines. Those are called SASP, senescent associated secretory phenotypes, which are the cytokines, the harmful chemicals they're creating. Think cytokine storm and COVID. Those are all related terms. Those come from senescent cells, actually. And what else? Where else was I going with that, Fiona?
Kidney disease and how that is important and chronic disease right through that mechanism.
Yeah, so the yeah, let me pull this up. I've got a
Yeah,
slide.
share some slides if you like.
We'll go through this slide of it to review basics. So because otherwise I sometimes can jump ahead. So let me not do that. So here we go. Here we go. So these are slides. So senescence, I'll just go over here. So senescence is defined as an state of irreversible proliferative arrest triggered by persistent activation of stress. That stress could be toxins, infectious agents, shear stress, radiation damage, basically anything that's bad for your health that we know, pesticides, chemicals, etc., all induce senescence.
Fascinating.
And so when we have senescence, what happens then is our autophagy, which is our cellular repair mechanisms, stop. So when those stop, then we're not having cellular repair. And so basically we have cells that keep growing. These zombie cells are creating harmful chemicals. They're destroying tissue around us, and the kidneys are destroying the tissue, increasing more fibrosis. And they're stopping the cellular repair process that we have also.
Yeah, which is why kidney disease is so progressive, isn't it? Because it's just those cells that then become fibrotic. Slowly as that tissue decay, like lack of blood flow, not having the autophagy and repairing themselves, and the next sort of cell gets like that, and we get this decline going.
Yeah, it's like, and that's like an avalanche. So what happens? Yeah, so there is a threshold of senescence above which disease manifests very quickly. So when you have a low amount of senescence, your immune system can clear the cells pretty easily. When you go above that threshold, then all of a sudden the zombies have taken over. They can't be killed, and they've eaten everything, and they're destroying all the tissue, literally. And then disease is happening, and there's not much to do about it at that point. So this
Very
is,
the last of us, isn't it?
exactly. And so this is just a little slide, a reminder, what is autophagy? This is the process of cellular repair. Mostly it's a process of repairing degraded, unwanted proteins. It's how we maintain good cytoplasmic health, cellular homeostasis. And it's super important for mitochondrial health. It's important for the health of all of our immune system cells. These are just the normal repair mechanisms that are ongoing basis in all of our cells. Yeah, so here's the next. Okay, so I'm going in reverse here. So what we want to do here to set the stage for our talk is talk about autophagy, senescence, this process called geroconversion, and then the mTOR. So we'll go through those, then we can have a little better discussion here. So just a little bit more
Perfect.
scientific review. So this is just a review, a summary of why the senescent cells are so bad for our health. And again, because the main thing is these senescent cells are releasing these SASPs. So SASP are, just think cytokine storm. So these are the cytokines, chemokines, pro-inflammatory chemicals that, that cause fibrosis and kidney disease. When you have the flu or COVID, it's what makes you feel like you have the flu, that rundown, just achy feeling all over. Those are cytokines. And remind me later, and we'll go over how these senescent cells are related to COVID and long COVID.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's that. We've already covered the rest of that. All right, here. So what's geroconversion? So
Yeah.
geroconversion is when it's basically the process of a healthy cell becoming senescent. So that's called geroconversion. So in this, any cell can become this, including stem cells, and including immune system cells. So any and all cells can undergo this process and become senescent. And then the more senescence you have, the sooner you're going to have a major chronic illness.
So interesting, like if people are having, say, stem cell treatments and things like that, if they've not treated the underlying cause, say they've got an acceleration of senescent cells, they could just, nothing will work in a sense, because like you mentioned, that avalanche is going and the slide is already going down, that really, unless you're doing something to slow that down, which is what we'll get to, anything you pour in on top of that is going to be useless.
So you actually could be making it worse.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that. I wasn't sure, but yeah.
And this is something nobody is talking about in medicine. And like, oh, I wonder why some stem cell treatments work, others don't. Well, got a lot of senescence, and most people getting stem cells have disease, so you probably
Yeah.
do have senescent cells. Basically, they're just zombies sitting there waiting for more cells. So if you flood them with healthy cells, the zombies are like, oh, there we go, more to eat.
More
And then
people to bite and infect. Yeah, makes sense.
so they just turn those senescent cells, back into, the stem cells into more senescent cells.
I'll put your website details below. If you Google Dr. Morgan Camp, his details will come up, and his actual website where you can contact him is drmorgancamp.com. If you go onto the website there, there's an intake form, and you can do a concierge service through there and give him a contact. Dr. Camp, thank you again. Remember to hit like and subscribe. That way you'll get notified anytime we put up new videos. If there's any content that you would like Dr. Camp to talk about, please put in the comments below, and I'm sure I can wrangle him back into doing another podcast for us. And remember to head to our website, www.kidneycoach.com, to find out more about what we do. In the meantime, thank you for being part of our community, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks again, Dr. Camp. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.